Thank you, Ambassador Maske. Can you hear me? It's okay? Sound
yes,
is okay?
You can.
Okay.
Maybe your sound can be a little bit. Yeah. I hear.
Thank you, Ambassador Maske. First of all, I would like to thank the NIS for creating this platform and providing me opportunity to share some of my thoughts on particularly Nepal-China relations, particularly on Belt and Road initiatives and cooperation between Nepal and China. I would like to share a screen. Can you provide me the...
So you can share it. Please go ahead.
Not working. I don't know why.
So you are co-host.
Okay,
yes,
okay, it's okay now. It's okay now. Can you see that screen share?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, good. Distinguished panelists, former ambassadors, and distinguished participants, very good morning. Although the Professor Maske has, Ambassador Maske has mentioned that I'm going to talk about the economic cooperation, my bit more focus would be on particularly on BRI and Nepal-China cooperation. Why I am focusing on this is that all our cooperations in these days are under the framework of Belt and Road MOU we have signed between Nepal and China. And we cannot imagine of our relationship without that framework. And we have built on some of the concepts on that BRI in the succeeding years. But the basic foundation is the Belt and Road initiatives. And I have given much more focus on that. What is BRI, and then how it evolved. These historical perspectives and the two conferences on Belt and Road international cooperation conferences held in 2017 and 2019, because that there are some confusions in Nepal. When we discuss in different platforms with the people, they try to equate the Belt and Road initiatives with the Indo-Pacific, and sometimes they simultaneously talk two topics at par. What I understand is that BRI is based on the principle of UN Charter. BRI has the statement and the several statements and documents that respects the sovereign equality of the nations and the independence of their choice or decisions. And it's particularly the economic development perspectives it carries on, and based on UN principles that it endorses the UN Agenda 3030, and basically it complies with the our foreign policy, that is non-aligned foreign policy. That's why we have already signed the MOU and Belt and Road initiatives. It has become an integral part of our foreign policy. Whereas the Indo-Pacific is a more a security alliance, and then Nepal government has never been a part of that, and they never intend to be part of that Indo-Pacific. That's why equating both and discussing at par does not justify our cooperation framework and the future cooperation perspectives. That's why I have given some of the historical perspectives of BRI and its relation. When we talk about the BRI, we all know that the President Xi Jinping, when he talked in the Nazarbayev University in 2013, and also the People's Representative Councils of Indonesia in September and October of 2013, he has spoken about the Belt and Justice, spelled out about this concept, Belt and Road initiatives. During those two occasions, the keywords he has mentioned, explained about the Belt and Road initiatives are the connecting East and West, and unity, mutual trust, equality, territorial integrity, security, stability, regional economic integrations, community of common destiny, infrastructures, investment bank, and political trust between the parties, right to independently choose the social systems, that honoring right to choose independently choose the social system by the different states. And he was talking about the comprehensive, cooperative and common security and equality-based dialogue on settling sovereign disputes. That's why this all about what we have been encompassing in our foreign policies. Based on these documents and based on the document issued by the Chinese government in 2015, which is the vision and action on the jointly building Belt and Road Economic Belt and 21st Century Maritime Silk Road. This is the document, first official document, which contains the principles, framework, and cooperation priorities, mechanisms, and these are the basic principles and priorities and the approaches and the strategies for cooperation under the BRI. Based on these things, and we enter into the MOU in 2017, and we agreed on this all kinds of the cooperation formalities, cooperation modalities, and the principles and objective of BRI. That's why it has become our foreign policy, one of the components of foreign policy, and all the relationship, economic, cultural, political relationship has been guided. Our relationship with China has been guided by this document. While we signed this document, we mentioned that we'll have the cooperation on policy exchanges, infrastructure connectivity, trade connectivity, financial integration, and people-to-people contact. This is what we envisioned. And then we participated in the first Belt and Road initiatives at the Deputy Prime Minister's level, and the second Belt and Road Cooperation Forum, International Cooperation Forum, held in 2019. Our President Vidya Devi Bhandari attended, and that forum reaffirmed the commitment on the UN 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. And they talk about the promoting peace and development and human rights and mutual beneficial cooperations, honoring sovereign independence and equalities of all the nations, and purpose and principles of UN charters, and achieving a strong, sustainable, balanced, and inclusive growth for prosperous and peaceful world. These are the basic themes of that all the head of the states and government, including our head of the states, agreed in the second Belt and Road Initiative Forum. And the background of that Belt and Road initiatives that goes on the particularly the development gap on development financing. We have looked from that perspective, the gap on development financing. ADB has forecasted that Central Asian countries needs 33 billion each year until 2030 to build a transport and communication networks. And also the trade in BRI economic corridor is estimated to be working at the 30% below the potential, and the FDI is 70% below the potential. That's why this is the gap for our development. This is World Bank study reveals that there is a potentiality of increasing trade between 1.7 to 6.2% of the world growth. That's why this has a huge potential gap on investment, particularly on investment, economic infrastructures, and the connectivity related matters. That's why on this background, the BRI along with the AIIB, Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, came into the picture, and then we joined that, and then with the objective of fulfilling the development financing gap. While that facilitating the development financing gap, President Xi Jinping in the Indonesian speech has mentioned about the establishment of the Asian Infrastructure Bank. This is the additional window for the infrastructure investment. multilateral agency, multinational agency, I mean the intergovernmental agency, like that World Bank and ADB. And then World Bank, ADB, the financing and the other international organizations financing scheme and bilateral financing schemes are barely insufficient for meeting needs of the developing countries, including Nepal. That given in the study have revealed by the different studies conducted by the institutions like ADB and World Bank. With this objective, and then 21 countries signed a MOU to establish AIIB in 24 October 2015, when the Master Maske was in Beijing at that time. And the 140 members now, 104 members are now, and then already 127 projects are already been implemented, and few projects on Nepal also. I will later on share you with that. Why Nepal wanted to join that BRI? As I said, that there is a financing gap, and then that financing gap can be fulfilled through the new window opportunity, a window of opportunity. And Nepal is in the pivot of connecting East and West and South and North. From the ancient times, as Ambassador Maske mentioned, that there are several luminaries that crisscross the Trans-Himalayan region, and they enriched the civilizations of both the sides, and also contributed for the well-being of the people across the Himalayas, and they contributed for the economic development. As I said, that there is a huge financial gap of Nepal, and then BRI can supplement with the AIIB, can supplement for that financing as an additional financing source with more kinds of the appropriate terms and conditions that Nepal development priorities suits with. Principles and framework of cooperations of BRI matches with our foreign policy and development financing policies. As I said, that Nepal has a natural resource and cultural resource endowment. We need the investment for our prosperity to use that potentials. And we also want to try upgrade our transit facility, widen diversify our transit facility, and reduce our international vulnerability on international trade. The BRI opens that opportunity, avenues of opportunity for Nepal. As I said, BRI fulfills that UN Charter and then UN principles and that peaceful coexistence, respects the paths and modes of development chosen by different countries. There is no kinds of the imposition. And this is only this is choice of Nepal. BRI advocates the accommodating concerns and interest of involving partners, all involving partners. Talking about Nepal-China relations, there are 6 milestones. As I say that it is first milestone is 1960-61. At that time, we signed the Peace and Friendship Treaty and the Border Treaty. Had we not been able to resolve that border treaty at that time, when it goes to the public, and then sometimes it will be very difficult to revert back to the normal position and then resolve that outstanding issues of the border agreements. What happens is that when it goes to the public, and then both the parties start to make a position based on the sentiments rather than the facts and figures, and then it will be very difficult to retreat. That's why the border treaty, border issues are very sensitive issues that tactfully our leaders resolved in 1960s. That's why we talked about the Nepal-China border is a trouble-free border. And then we also controlled the Khampa, which was the Nepal's principle that Nepal will never allow any anti-Chinese activities in its soil. That is the Nepal's foreign policy. And the Khampa were using Nepali soil against China. That's why Nepal resolutely control it and then fulfill its foreign policy commitment made by our neighbors. That's why it was also a kind of the foreign policy milestone. As I said, that Nepal gained trust with China with this event, and the transport transit agreement was signed in 2015. Belt and Road Cooperation Agreement signed in 2017 is a milestone. As I said, that all cooperations with China that goes under this framework. That's why this gives a new window of opportunities and new framework for the cooperations. And our president's visit and Chinese president visit and the signing the several agreements. I'm not going to detail out on that. And then these are the 2 other milestones that develop Nepal-China relations. Nepal wants to develop transmission line, power line, air connectivity, telecommunication, digital technology, agriculture, so many things that Nepal want to develop through this BRI and contribute for peace and stability in the Trans-Himalayan region and improve the living conditions of the people in the region and also contribute for the regional peace and economy. Now, we have done some of the activities. Let I say that feasibility studies is going on cross-border railway, optical fiber is already completed, connectivity, Madan Bhandari University is on progress. These are some of the activities that we are having with the Belt and Road Initiative framework. And the MOU on energy cooperation, we have the 2 projects already been financed, Upper Trishuli and power distribution project in Karnali region. And there are some other projects in pipeline, the urban governance, urban infrastructure, Tamakoshi hydropower and Sunkoshi diversion. These are the projects in pipeline. And protocol on transit and transport has already been finalized, ready to use, and they're not yet implemented. Enhanced air connectivity is already enhanced. And then we have the 97 flights per week available right now. This has been done in 2019 after the President Xi Jinping's visit. And we have been upgrading Trans-Himalayan connectivity network through the Thare Tunnel, Kodari and Rosua-Agadi Highway, Ring Road and Corolla Port. These are the connectivity networks related projects. We have also signed a cross-border transmission line project, but progress has not been too much. We have also signed the economic cross-border economic zone progress MOU that also has not been much more progress. We have a substantial cooperation on post-earthquake reconstruction from China, and they provided almost 55 billion Nepalese rupees worth of the cooperation during the 3 years of 2016, 17, 2017, 18, and 19. And we also received a very substantial cooperation in the COVID-19 pandemic. And this has given a chance to see how that the cooperation of China is important for Nepal. The pandemic control, without having that China's support, it was not possible to come to today's stage. We've received 1.8 million doses of vaccines, the highest number of vaccines that we received from any other country till now, and the lot of other pandemic control support materials received. And also there are a lot of activities going on development cooperations, promoting tourism, investment, think tank cooperations, education and people-to-people cooperation. This has been significantly improved and enlarged, extended, widened after the signing of Belt and Road initiatives in 2017. And we have also the enhanced political level dialogue and trust. We upgraded relationships with the strategic cooperative partnership for everlasting friendship for development and prosperity. This is the investment scenario. China has the largest investors, foreign direct investment in terms of foreign direct investment Nepal receives. Also is one of the largest development financer. This is the grant we have received, development funding we have received in last successive 3 years. In 2018-19, it was 150 million US dollar. That is almost 17-18 billion Nepalese rupees in a year. This is the trade scenario, although there is a wide gap, and that this year we have to be focused, but this is a little bit going on decline, and then we need to work on that. And from the tourism perspective, sir, then China has the highest potential for Nepal to develop our tourism industry. This is the infrastructure road network we can build up. Opportunities, talking about the opportunities, we have signed several platform agreements and then created platforms. We have a good understanding, provide better framework, guides for fostering cooperations. And China is the largest source of FDI. We can increase this further on it. And the development financiers also highest spending tourist travel abroad from China. Although last 1.5 years, the tourism industry has a great setback, but a revival of tourism, there is a great potential from inviting more Chinese tourists, so that we can revive the tourism industry and contribute our economy in terms of creating job opportunities and the reviving economy. China is the only country that has the positive growth of economy out of 16 countries having more than 1 trillion GDP in 2020. That's why this is the potentiality that China has, that potential to support other countries, including Nepal. Only China has the only country having experience of building railway line across the Himalayas out of top of 5,000 meters. It is very important for Nepal, the railway project that facilitates us for transit facility and also diversify our international relations, and also reduces their vulnerabilities. That's why these are basically the opportunities for Nepal, and the challenges. Particularly, I will focus on, and then this is my last slide. I will finish in 1 or 2 minutes time. Particularly, we have seen that there are some divergent views on political leaders. Sometimes the views are more or less similar, but that actions are divergent, or actions are not consistent, not predictable. That does not create an environment of trust. That has been the greatest, that is the greatest impediment for exploring highest possible cooperations under BRI. And then we need to be clear that BRI, if it is under our principle of international cooperation, if it follows the international charters and UN principles, if it is the China's capability and willingness to support, if it is in the interest of our country's development, there is no any if and buts and hisses, or there is some kinds of the complacencies to fully cooperate and then talk with China. And if there are certain terms and conditions, as some people talk about the debt trap, and then that is completely a false kinds of the propaganda. I would say that because that Nepal's debt portfolio, more than 95% debt portfolio is more than 96% debt portfolio is outside China, from beyond China, not except China, without China. That's why if we fall in debt trap, we fall debt trap from the other sources, not from China. If there is a interest rate question, and then we can talk and negotiate with them, and then get the concessional rate, and we can be very open and frank on that particular part. And the second, that greatest impediment is sometimes that we, as I said earlier, we equate with the BRI with the Indo-Pacific. There, Indo-Pacific, we reject our foreign policy rejects that Indo-Pacific, and the BRI we accept it because it is under the UN Charter and principles. As a non-aligned country, we can adapt BRI. As a non-aligned country, we cannot adopt that Indo-Pacific. That's why these are two not things that equating. And then sometimes we equate, and then we sometimes that pushed up far that our cooperation possibilities, potentiality with China. Particularly see that in during pandemic, the vaccine, when China offered the vaccine, it took almost more than 2 months for Nepal to bring it from Beijing to Kathmandu and administer. By that time, we have the second wave. Had we been able to bring it earlier, 1.5 months earlier, and then administer, there are 400,000 people would have protected.
Leela Mani, time is off.
That's why, yeah, this is the last, and then I finished. That's why we should not be bogged down with the others' created narratives. There are a lot of potentialities, and it is based on our principles and priorities and the foreign policy guidelines. That's why we can fully explore the potentiality of exploiting BRI and achieve the sustainability goal as well as the prosperity of Nepalese people, and create a win-win situation across the Trans-Himalayan region and contribute for the regional peace and prosperity as well. Thank you.